Welcome to History Explained, where we illuminate the past to better understand our present. I'm your guide to your daily journey through the past to empower the future. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. As we do every Tuesday, we're exploring the life and legacy of an influential individual whose impact continues to shape our world. Today, we turn our attention to Alexander Hamilton, the founding father whose financial genius helped establish America's economic foundation while his vision of a strong federal government fundamentally shaped the young nation's development. Born around January 11, 1755, Hamilton rose from poverty to become one of America's most influential political architects. What makes Hamilton particularly significant is how his economic policies and political philosophy established precedents that continue to influence American government and finance today. His advocacy for federal power, manufacturing development, and financial institutions created the framework for America's economic growth. So let's explore the remarkable life of Alexander Hamilton, examining his rise from obscurity, his role in creating the Constitution, his revolutionary financial system, and his tragic death that cut short one of America's most brilliant careers. Alexander Hamilton was born on the Caribbean island of Nevis, probably in 1755, though some sources suggest 1757. His father abandoned the family when Alexander was young, and his mother died when he was 11, leaving him and his brother orphaned and impoverished. Despite these harsh beginnings, Hamilton demonstrated exceptional intelligence and ambition. He found work as a clerk in a trading house, where his mathematical abilities and business acumen impressed his employers. A local merchant, impressed by Hamilton's potential, helped finance his education in New York. Hamilton arrived in New York in 1772 and enrolled at King's College, now Columbia University. The young immigrant quickly distinguished himself through his writing and speaking abilities, publishing pamphlets defending American colonial rights against British policies with sophistication that belied his youth. When the Revolutionary War began, Hamilton formed an artillery company and demonstrated remarkable leadership abilities despite his small stature and youthful appearance. His military competence caught the attention of General Washington, who appointed Hamilton as his aide-de-camp in 1777. As Washington's trusted assistant, Hamilton gained invaluable experience in military logistics, finance, and administration. He observed firsthand the Continental Army's struggles with inadequate funding and supplies, experiences that would shape his later advocacy for strong federal financial institutions. After the war, Hamilton studied law and established a successful practice in New York while becoming increasingly involved in politics. He recognized that the Articles of Confederation created a federal government too weak to address the nation's mounting problems, particularly its crushing war debts. Hamilton played a crucial role in organizing the Constitutional Convention of 1787, though his proposals for a very strong federal government were considered too extreme by many delegates. However, his contributions to the Federalist Papers, written with James Madison and John Jay, provided the intellectual foundation for ratifying the Constitution. When Washington became president, he appointed Hamilton as the first Secretary of the Treasury, a position that allowed Hamilton to implement his vision for America's financial future. The challenges were enormous. The new nation owed millions to foreign creditors and domestic bondholders. State governments were also deeply in debt, and there was no reliable system for raising federal revenue. Hamilton's solution was his Report on Public Credit, submitted to Congress in 1790. He proposed that the federal government assume all state Revolutionary War debts while establishing a funded national debt that would be paid through federal taxes, particularly customs duties and excise taxes. This plan was controversial because it required taxpayers to honor debts at full value, benefiting speculators who had bought depreciated government bonds cheaply. However, Hamilton argued that establishing the nation's credit was essential for economic development and international respect. Hamilton also proposed creating a national bank, modeled after the Bank of England, to manage government finances and provide a stable currency. The Bank of the United States would be jointly owned by the government and private investors, giving it both public purpose and private efficiency. Thomas Jefferson and others opposed the bank as unconstitutional, arguing that the Constitution didn't explicitly authorize such an institution. Hamilton's response established the doctrine of implied powers, arguing that the Constitution's necessary and proper clause authorized Congress to create institutions needed to execute its enumerated powers. Hamilton's Report on Manufactures, outlined his vision for American economic development through government support for domestic manufacturing. He proposed tariffs to protect American industries, bounties to encourage production, and infrastructure investments to facilitate commerce. While Congress didn't fully adopt his manufacturing program, Hamilton's ideas influenced American economic policy for decades. His belief that America should develop manufacturing rather than remain purely agricultural put him at odds with Jefferson's vision of an agrarian republic. Hamilton's policies were largely successful in establishing American creditworthiness and creating financial institutions that supported economic growth. However, they also created intense political opposition that contributed to the formation of America's first political parties. Hamilton's personal life was marked by both achievement and scandal. His affair with Maria Reynolds in 1791 became public knowledge, damaging his reputation when he chose to admit the adultery rather than face accusations of financial corruption that the affair had been used to cover up. His political career effectively ended with the election of Thomas Jefferson in 1800, partly due to Hamilton's own attacks on his fellow Federalist, John Adams. Hamilton's opposition to Aaron Burr's candidacy for governor of New York in 1804 led to the duel that ended his life. On July 11, 1804, Hamilton and Burr met at Weehawken, New Jersey, for their famous duel. Hamilton was mortally wounded and died the next day, cutting short the career of one of America's most influential founding fathers at the age of 47 or 49. Hamilton's legacy extends far beyond his death. His financial system established the foundation for American capitalism, while his constitutional interpretations strengthened federal power. The institutions he created, particularly the precedent of a central bank, influenced American economic development for centuries. Modern America reflects many of Hamilton's visions: a strong federal government, a diversified economy based on manufacturing and finance, and an activist role for government in promoting economic development. His ideas about federal power and economic policy continue to influence political debates today. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of Alexander Hamilton's life and legacy. Tomorrow, we'll be back with our World Events episode, where we'll be examining the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and its profound impact on warfare, international relations, and the nuclear age. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how Hamilton's financial innovations continue to influence modern American economics and government. Until next time, I'm your guide for History Explained, where we believe that understanding yesterday is the key to navigating tomorrow.